This is a question that a lot of people ask, especially about why one should prefer Mac over Windows. Most of the people think that a person buys a Mac just to flaunt the Apple logo. That is completely wrong. There is so much more to it than you can think of, which is why I made this video. Now here are 5 out of many reasons why people buy Mac. One of the biggest reasons is the exclusive suite of applications that are available only for the Mac OS. Number 1. Final Cut Pro. This is a software that I edit videos on, and most of your favorite creators that you watch online edit videos on, and even people like MKBHD have switched to macOS just to use Final Cut Pro and edit videos using it. Let me explain why. First, it does not crash often like Premiere Pro or any other software. Second, it has a smooth magnetic timeline. Look out how fast I'm able to scrub through my video clips. And finally, it renders in background as you edit. So your video exporting times are blazing fast. Now here is a real world comparison between Premiere Pro and Final Cut Pro. I'm rendering the same video and you can see the difference on your screen right now. Final Cut Pro is almost twice as fast. Now why app developers and web developers use MacBooks? I think because macOS is based on Unix and all of their bash commands, all of the terminal commands work out of the box, and app developers because it's the only operating system where you can develop apps for both iOS and Android. Obviously you can write code in any operating system, but you can sign and distribute iOS apps only using macOS. Why UI UX designers use MacBooks? Because their first choice of vector software, which is Sketch, is Mac only software. Now Sketch is much better than Adobe Illustrator, Adobe XD. Adobe XD started after the success of Sketch, by the way. And I know a ton of friends who bought a MacBook because they wanted to use just Sketch on it. Why bloggers use Mac? So basically bloggers and internet marketers and people who have a lot of browser work buy MacBook Air because that laptop has a crazy battery life. 12 to 14 hours on browsing is no joke. Obviously you have to use Safari for that, and I know it has a dull screen, but that works as an advantage. No Windows laptop in that range can come close to the battery life and portability of MacBook Air, but I'll advise you guys to wait for the new refreshed version that's launching maybe at the end of this year. Now enough of the software talks, let's talk about the hardware. The screens on the MacBooks are just amazing. They are the most beautiful, and I have compared this MacBook screen to a ton of Windows laptop. Nothing matches the Retina display and the trackpad. Once you use the trackpad on Mac, you'll never go back to Windows. The multi-gesture support, the haptic feedback, and little things like, for example, I'm in Xcode right now and I'm aligning some tiles, and the touchpad gives me a haptic feedback saying, hey, you have done it right, you can leave the trackpad now. So to conclude, Apple has really nailed the basics that a user can want in a laptop. A beautiful color-rich display, slim design, trackpad that is big and convenient to use, social validation. But just like everything in this world is not perfect, the MacBook has its shares of drawbacks as well. This year, Apple have really compromised on the keyboard in the race of making this MacBook slimmer. Even a speck of dust gets inside the keys, they stop responding normally, you have to press harder, press a couple of times to register the character. But if you are in the creative industry, sooner or later you have to get into the macOS ecosystem, or you will be the odd one out. That's it for this video. I'll see you in the next one.